Hello everyone and welcome to West Ham Fan TV. We're in a very special place. We're in the spiritual home of a lot of the fans, I'd say, of our club. We're in the Boleyn Pub. They've kindly let us use it tonight to film this special video. We began over the season so far. We're about a third the way through now. We began over month by month, game by game, player so what do you call it? Player so far? Would you say that? Yeah. Standout player so far. Goal so far. All that good stuff. And I'm proud to say I'm joined by a good variety of guests here today. We've got our own boys, Scott and Ryan.
Oh, I thought you meant me.
Well, yeah. But we've also got in our company someone, we'll go from left to right, someone that the crowd come near to the Boleyn will know very, very well. The best food in London by far, and I can, trust me, look at me, yeah, I know food.
But my food don't do that to me.
I know, what I'm saying, Mark, is I know food, and when I've tasted good food.
The sauce is good as well.
Mark the Rib Man, he's here.
Yeah.
Welcome, Mark. Welcome. Next to us here, an ex-player. We've had him on before, so he's a friend of the show. We've said before he's a scourge of Alex Ferguson. Welcome, Kenny Brown. Kenny Brown. And to our right, somebody that some people might recognise, somebody that has got their own YouTube channel, is in the same line of business as us. Charlie from Hammers Chat. How you doing, Charlie?
I'm good, thank you.
Welcome, mate. Welcome. Right, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be going through the season so far. So let's start, we'll start early on. I know this is going back a little bit now because we started so early. Europe. Who remembers the European campaign? Does anyone remember it? Because it's a distant memory.
It was a pre-season for me. Yeah. It was a pre-season.
Yeah.
I think the club used it as a pre-season.
Yeah.
Rightly so. I think the best thing they could have done was used it as a pre-season and started to hit the ground running, which we did against Arsenal. I mean, I don't think there was many fans who was happy about it when we got knocked out as we did, but I think it done us a favour. It really did.
Was it a disturbed pre-season though? Do you know what I mean, Ken? It was sort of like the squad was split in half, and I was sort of worrying at times.
Three at once.
Yeah, one time. Yeah, we was, you know, one group were playing a game in Southend, while the other were in Romania and
Ireland.
Ireland.
Yeah, it was difficult. It must have been manic to manage it. You know, obviously you're looking at a new manager coming in, all new backroom staff, and suddenly you, like you said, you've got 2-3 factions of your squad in different parts of the country and world and Europe, and you're sort of thinking, well, how's it ever going to come together? And I haven't had a chance to come over to watch a league fixture here yet. I came to 2 of the European games, and you know, you sort of looked at it and thought, wow, like, we've got some work to do. And it's funny because you look at the European games, and yeah, we win it really by default, you know, fair play league. But did you know, was it a chance? And you're looking at the teams that were being put out, the team, and thinking, are we missing a trick here? Should we really be? And then getting, you know, not beating sort of very inferior teams didn't bode well. It was worrying.
It was.
And I don't think anyone could sit there and go, no, we're fine, we'll be all right. And then, obviously, it's only in hindsight that you look back and go, yeah, it was a right decision.
Yeah.
You know, to do it like how they done it, and fair play to them.
Yeah. So what, Charlie? Yeah, I'll come to you, mate. What would we have been better off, considering the start we've had, because we've had a brilliant start, but we faltered in some games. Yeah. Would we have been better off just going, thanks, but no thanks? Give it to, you know, someone in Ireland or something. You know what I mean? And we'll go on about our business. Do you think it was the right decision to take that on, the European games?
It was always going to be a difficult one, just because, as Kenny touched on, I mean, new manager, that's the biggest thing, like to take on such a big squad, however many new players we've got as well at the same time, it was a huge challenge from the start, and it always was going to be. But I think, you know, if you've got a chance to go in Europe, you've got to take it. And you look at the players we brought in, you could argue that maybe some of them wouldn't have turned up if we weren't in Europe. and so it was always worth it for the club. But I was of the opinion that we should have maybe, going out early was better.
Yeah.
Just because, especially when you consider all the cup competitions we're in as well, League Cup, FA Cup, everything. You know, you want to have as good a season as possible, and maybe dropping out early was better.
Has anyone here got any regrets about going out early?
No.
Don't get me wrong, I'd like to have seen some big European teams at the Boleyn this season, but maybe it was good going out that early because it did give us a strong pre-season. I mean, the first game we played was at Lushentan's.
Yeah.
I mean, to sell out on the first game in a qualifier was amazing. I think it was just everyone was, all the wives kicked the husbands out just to like all get over it. But no, it was. But I'd like to have seen us play some big teams, but maybe it was a season too early for us.
I think you are right. It was. Yeah, I think that. It would have been a step too far at the time. I think bringing in a new manager and a new squad.
I think we've got to build up to being a good enough side to be in Europe and the Premier League. And at the beginning of this season, we wasn't.
Yeah. So what about? Sorry, Mark. What about the squad we've got now? If we'd have had that squad early on, do you think we could have used the squad a bit more, the depth? Because we had some good kids out, didn't we? I mean, you know, that Cullen looked decent. Rob Lee's boy, Elliot Lee, looked decent at times. Oxford was brilliant. And Samuelson, we could have mixed him in with sort of like the Antonios and the Joey O'Briens, and maybe.
I think the squad's definitely big enough and good enough, but you know, maybe it was a little bit too early.
Yeah.
But it was still disappointing. No, whatever way you look at it, it was still disappointing to go out to them like, you know, them teams.
It would be more disappointing if we didn't have the start that we had.
Oh, massively. Yeah,
So
massively.
I think the start that we had overrode that for me.
Definitely.
I probably almost see what they were doing.
Probably staying in Europe, we probably wouldn't have had to start with that in the league, you know. So
without doubt.
that's probably a blessing.
And I don't think anyone was ready for us. I don't think Arsenal were definitely not ready for us.
No.
You know, they thought if they had watched us pre-season, they would have probably thought the same with the West Ham fans. Right? West Ham will do that.
So we move into it. Everyone sort of like when we went out. I remember a lot of people questioning Bilic and saying, you know, has he chucked that away? Because you know we was 2-0 up here, of course, against Astra. Was it Astra? Yeah, it was Astra, wasn't it? Yeah. 2-0 up here. They got it back to 2-2. Then he sent a bunch of kids out there, and everyone was sort of saying, "What is he doing? Like, what is he doing? Just chuck that away." About 4 days later, we roll up at the Emirates and we absolutely play them off the park. Nobody, I don't think, I mean, we was there. Nobody expected that. I mean, does that justify it? Just that game, you know, just bang.
I don't know about just the game, but I think,
we've had a few seasons
like Mar said,
it's not just that one.
You're going.
You got your Man City, you got your Liverpool, you got your Chelsea. You know, that is a dream season already. We're only a third of the way through it.
That Arsenal
best start
game
for 40 years.
Yeah.
I mean, Bilic, you got to believe in him, no? Surely.
I think there was a lot of pressure on him as well after that to go there because everyone was going there going, well, if we nick something great, but you know, anything, a draw would be lovely. As long as we don't get smashed there, we're fine. But everyone was apprehensive.
But the thing is, we went there and we played Arsenal off the park.
100%.
It's strange, isn't it? It's when you go in.
That's not his first time. Sorry, it's not his first time, Bilic, to do that against.
No, I know, yeah.
You know, done it with Baziskas, you know. He's a clever guy for me, anyway.
Especially chucking someone like Reece Oxford in the starting lineup that day.
That was amazing.
A lot of the Arsenal fans that we spoke to before were laughing, saying a 16-year-old, we're going to smash you today.
It was a massive gamble, and it paid off. You know, that's the thing. With the Europe, going out of Europe and then going into that, we got top there. It could have backfired massively.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, if we'd have gone there, and you know, it's an 100-to-1 shot that you go to Arsenal. You know what I mean? And
I did have it 2-1.
Did you? Was it an 100-to-1 shot? Not quite.
No, not quite. But I did have 2-1. So, but would it have changed anything if we'd have lost to Arsenal but still won the others? I mean, we still had the best start in 40 years, and there's nothing we should be feeling down about. You know, we've carry on.
The thing is, Bilic has given us memories so far that other managers haven't.
He's the most honest manager I've ever seen.
It's refreshing, isn't it?
It is.
Let's talk about Bilic, the appointment of Bilic. Obviously, he came in.
Brilliant.
Yeah, obviously, you're making comparisons about him to Allardyce. This start, you know, people making comparisons.
No comparison.
No, I know your feelings, mate. I think we all know your feelings, mate.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Big Sam.
Charlie.
Please, yeah.
Charlie.
He's done a good job. He's done his job, but for me, he took us as far as what he could take us.
Of course, yeah.
And thank you, Sam. I'm not going to slag the guy. He done a job, but that was it. Now shut up and go away. That's
And he hasn't shut up and gone. That's the problem,
You know what I
isn't
mean?
it?
He's got a book to sell, isn't he?
He's got a book to sell.
Charlie.
Yeah, I mean, he came in and did the job he needed to do.
Yeah.
When you look at that sort of early period where people were sort of questioning Village, you look at the other names we were linked with, you know, Jurgen Klopp, Rafa Benitez, these huge name managers. And then Village comes in, and I think everyone would admit that he wasn't our first choice. And
I remember I sat out there outside the bowling ground, and me and him sat there, recorded a video saying, I'm not sure. You know, I don't think this geezer's got.
I think it was more because who he was linked with.
Yeah.
And you know, and like I said, when Bilic was appointed, you get behind him 110%.
Yeah.
110%. And so I think it was a blessing in disguise that we got him. Because we could have had Benitez and we could be down the bottom of the league now. You know, it
It's
couldn't
not
have
even
worked
that. I
out.
don't think that anyone would have the passion that Bilic and you know, he brings Julian Dixon and he brings, you know, people who really understand West Ham.
Yeah.
The fans who really can get on board with that.
I
And
just
I think we've lost that over the last few years. There's not been that connectivity with the fans and the managers.
I just think everything about him is refreshing. You played with him, didn't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A year with him, yeah.
Yeah, so everything about him is just refreshing. It's just, you know, his honesty is
Brilliant.
I think that's like the foreign, you know, that's how they. I think it's nice because, you know, yeah, he's obviously, you know, he speaks English fluently, but he can, you know, he picks and chooses what to say, and he can get away with certain things, and I think he's cute with doing that, you know.
I like the way he puts his arm around players as well. They've had a good game, he'd give them a kiss on the cheek, you know, and things. No, but it makes the players feel loved, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sam Allardyce, you didn't see him do that with players.
He didn't get out of his chair.
No.
You see him, Bilic, on the sideline. He literally kicks every ball.
He don't sit down.
He's like us. He's like one of us. We're all there.
Yeah.
And you head in when the cross comes over,
that's
trying
what's
to score.
refreshing. I was a bit. Do you know what? When he came, I was a bit worried about him, and I'm going to bring this up, right? I said when he came, I said he walks out as before. I don't want him back. You know what I mean? Because he went to Everton. You know, after a year's.
He ain't Paul Ince.
No, I know what you're saying, but I'm just saying. I sometimes I sort of like. There's a couple of players that I just sort of think, you could have stayed. You know what I mean? You could have stayed for a couple more.
But he had the chance to go halfway through the season, and he didn't. He stayed until the end of the
They
season.
people forget that. They just remember that he went.
He went, yeah. I think that's my memory's been tainted. I think by that sort of thing. You know what I mean? So,
But he's definitely West Ham.
Oh, yeah.
He's not getting that.
You don't have to
can't
prove
take
it to
that
me no
away
more.
from him, can you?
I think the club suits him, and he
suits the
definitely
club,
suits the club.
without a doubt.
and he brought Julian in, and you know, and
he's the fans' choice, isn't he?
Yeah.
Fans love him.
I think most fans wanted Bilic and Dix.
Yeah.
In some way, form, shape.
I think
They wanted
Dix
them
was
to.
a great appointment.
Brilliant.
Great appointment.
I think so.
Even if not for his ability, just for the fact that he brings just the amount of passion that everyone else in the stadium wants and feels as well. You know,
It comes across to everyone, though.
Exactly.
I don't think there's anything worse sitting there as a fan than if you're 2-0 down or even 1-0 up, and you know there's a bit of pressure, and you look over to the manager's bench, and you know you've got someone who's like, you know, I don't think there's anything worse. Looking over there now, I mean, we sit in the West Stand, and we look over there, and he's up, and you think, yeah, you know that he's watching every single kick. He's you know.
Yeah, here's one for you. How many of Sam's substitutions did you understand?
Did I understand? No, none of them.
None of them. How many of Bilic's do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More or less every one of them, though.
Yeah.
It's like you're thinking, say, why don't you do this and that? And then all of a sudden he's doing it.
There's been a few times.
He's actually right in the game with you.
There's been a few times where I haven't understood it, like City when we were winning and he brings on Jelic.
Yeah.
But then Jelic just
Jevic cost me
stands.
£2,000. Seriously.
He's going to
I swear to God,
Pull your Ladbrokes account up.
But he just like stood in the box, and you can see why I brought him on because the passion. He stood in the box. Wilfred Boney goes for a header. Jelic's just standing there like that, like you ain't getting past. And he isn't happy to settle for a point. He isn't even happy to settle for a 1-goal difference sometimes. You know, there were times where I think Palace get 4 strikers. It's just, and that's what we want to see as as fans. We don't want to see us sit back.
I don't mind losing, but I want to see us lose fighting.
We're talking about the Palace game, but with that Palace game, when they got sent off last season, Sam would have chucked Joey O'Brien on or something like that. He didn't. He chucked Carroll on.
Yeah.
He went for it, and we got a 3-1 win.
The thing with the Allardyce substitutions as well, as soon as you saw the starting lineup and you saw the bench, barring injury, you knew it was coming.
Yeah, you knew it was coming. You knew. Yeah.
There was times when I could name who was coming on at what minute. I start the game, I say, right, Carroll will be on at 60, you know what I mean, and O'Brien will be on at 72.
No matter how the game's going,
no matter how the game is going, and that is the difference. I'm not knocking. Allardyce has made a lot of money doing what he does best, and that is getting teams and transforming them into sides that can't be beaten. And I think that's what he did with us at times.
Well, we were shit after Christmas, so how's that work?
I think that's what I was. Is it? You know, what were we, top 4 going in the Christmas period?
Yeah.
You thought we ain't going down. He's got a licence now to actually go out and express
himself.
Let's see what you're about.
And he couldn't.
And went completely the opposite way.
Because he hasn't got a clue.
No.
I don't. He hasn't. All he's good at is keeping the team a little bit solid.
Do you think he knew
He was going,
and the players knew he was going?
I think he knew last year that this.
I think personally, whatever way you look at it, Christmas he should have gone.
Yeah.
If they weren't going to offer him a new contract, which everybody really knew they weren't, and I don't think whether he would have signed it or not is another thing.
Yeah.
But I think at that time they could have got rid of him.
How much would it cost him to get rid of him?
I don't think
He's
much
got
of
6
half
months.
the season. Yeah,
6 months money,
wages.
but then would we have Slaven now?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
you've got to look
They
it
may have
up.
done a panic,
But I
that's
think
the
at that
problem.
time, and that's probably
I think they've done the right thing.
what didn't help last season.
I think I always just remember I couldn't wait for the end of the season.
Yeah.
I was just praying that he was going to go.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever felt like that at West Ham, ever in my life. And I really hated that, you know. And this season, I just love getting up on a Saturday morning.
You're excited to go over there, aren't you?
Man, I feel like a
What
kid
time do you get
again. Don't. All right, I'm up early, but even when I'm up, I'm still excited.
I'm the
3
same
o'clock in
though.
the morning.
You have the game at the weekend. You go work on a Monday, and you're already looking forward to if it's home or away. You just want to get there. You're excited to watch this team play.
And that feels good.
Yeah.
That feels like
He's
being a
definitely
West Ham fan
united
again.
the club, the supporters,
The fan.
And
yeah.
I think that's important.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
that's important.
Massive.
You know, when especially within the fans, because there was a little faction going on there for a little while. There was sort of pro Allardyce and negative Allardyce, and they were sort of clashing at times. And you know, the stadium would.
Seriously, each to their own. But
Yeah.
you've got to move forward, and I don't think he was ever going to move forward.
I think the thing with Allardyce for me is that he left the club in a better position that he picked it up from.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Like he did the job,
But
he
then,
was paid
like
to
you
do it, and
said,
paid very well.
He went too far. That's as far as he could go.
Yeah.
We had to make that next step.
Yeah.
I think it's that, especially this season being the last at the Boleyn and going at the Olympic Stadium, that the fans are split. You know, and I think Bilic has then now got everybody on side of moving. You know, moving.
It wasn't good enough before. I don't think it was a good enough side to move into the Olympic side before. And yet I think we are going to be now. And I think that's exciting because from what I've heard, we sold 40,000 season tickets. Is that right?
Something like that.
Ain't even reached band 4 yet.
They were talking. They've got 20,000 renewals, 20,000 people on the waiting list. And then that's without people renewing.
So let's hope we don't get all these tourist wankers that they get over at Arsenal.
We'll have to move again. We'll have to go Wembley in a couple of years.
Next one, yeah, Wembley.
Brilliant start at Arsenal.
Yep.
Next 2 games weren't so brilliant. Bournemouth at home, Leicester at home. Leicester at home first. Now, looking back at that, it doesn't look like a bad result, does it? Because they're sitting top of the league at the minute, you know what I mean? Joint top of the league. But the Bournemouth result, what went on there? Just learning curve, would you say?
That was just, to me, defensive errors, wasn't it? Criswell, Jenks.
Individual errors.
Individual errors, I think maybe the European games caught up with him. Maybe didn't know. I don't know. Out of practice, because they come early, didn't they? Because after that, we've just been phenomenal. After them two.
I think as well the expectations.
Yeah,
suddenly shot through the roof after the Arsenal
game.
result.
I was just about to say that
as well. Yeah.
I was just about to say you're expected to turn up here and we're going to beat Leicester.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
Straight after the game, it's like, same old West Ham, though. How many people said that?
We're bad.
And be fair though, you got to take it. Bournemouth for the best part of well, at least a season, are used to winning games of football, and were buoyant, confident. They had all their players.
Yeah,
I mean, now they've lost their main players, 3-4 of them, but they were playing then, and they were decent. They were a decent team.
They went to Liverpool and lost 1-0, and they didn't deserve that.
No, they didn't
They deserved to turn them over, and I think we underestimated them a little. I think we didn't think, that they'd hit us.
I think the same as Leicester as well, no? I think we expected to turn up and just beat them.
Yeah.
But as much as the individual errors cost us in them 2 games, I never thought we was out of it. Do you know what I mean?
No. And I don't think we're out of any game that we've played. Even when we gave a goal down, 2 goals down, I was still going to put my money on us.
Even coming away from that Leicester and Bournemouth game, you were still entertained, if you know what I mean. I know we lost, but they was entertaining losses, you know what I mean?
Went on an amazing run and put it in the net. Like, when have we ever seen that?
When my ego does say like that, you're in for a good night.
I don't mind losing in a way when you fight for it, and you feel like you could come back.
Yeah.
It's when you know that you're never going to come back.
Was that important as well to ground us a little bit? You win them 2 games, we might have been, dreaming of the league. You know what I mean?
What would our fans be like now if we were sitting top?
Yeah.
Unbearable, no?
And the thing is, I think the Leicester game sort of grounded Reece Oxford as well, because he had that the press were on him after his Arsenal performance, and I think the Leicester game he got sort of fanned out a bit. And did he get taken off at half time? He did, didn't he? So,
but I think they've handled him the right way with the fact that now they've took him away. He sat on the bench for a while, and then he went out the squad, and then he sat on the bench again. I think that's good.
He's only 16 years old. You know what I mean?
It's crazy when you think of it.
I mean, that first game against Arsenal,
he was like
he's so intelligent.
And it's Ozil was one of the best players in the world.
When you look at the press he's getting now.
That's what I'm saying. And that makes it more impressive, doesn't it? Makes the win more impressive, makes the fact that he had him in his pocket.
The thing is, he's a centre half. He's not a centre midfielder, he's a centre half.
Well, I think he might be able to, he's young enough to sort of like retrain into that position, you know what I mean? Because, he was...
Strike one around a dice.
Yeah.
In goal.
He wouldn't have been anywhere near it. 16, he wouldn't have been anywhere near.
So we're grounded. 3 points. That we finish up the month here. Then we go off to Liverpool. 52 years, I'm going up there. I remember driving up in a car, me and Graham. And I looked at him, I thought, why the bloody hell are we going up here? What is the point? We could have watched this on the telly at home. I could have tell you exactly what's going to go on. I can tell you exactly what the score's going to be. It's going to be 3-0 to them. Let's just turn around, let's go home now, get refund red tickets there. Got up there and it was absolutely amazing. And we, the Arsenal result was good, but this one was phenomenal.
I think with the history of it as well, not winning up there, that's what made it more special.
And then we come away from that game again thinking he's the Messiah, you know what I mean? After thinking, he might be a human being, he's just lost 2 games. Come away from there again, our expectations are high. Our signings after that game, it was the transfer window. Our signings that we brought in early, Antonio. No, he wasn't early, was he? Sorry, it was Obiang, Payet,
Lanzini, yeah.
Bonner. What did you make of them in the first month? Did you think they settled in? Randolph, he played a lot of games, didn't he?
He had a terrible start for me. I mean,
for the Europe.
Goodness. I really did, but I think he proved himself a little bit later.
He redeemed himself in them games when Adrian was out.
Definitely, But
especially against Bournemouth.
I was a bit worried about him at the start.
But there was a stage, wasn't there, when I think Rob Green's name was getting touted heavily.
That was really worrying me.
And you were expecting him to just turn up. He'll come back in competition. But to be fair to him, he's turned it around.
Definitely.
I thought them league games he played
character.
He was man of the match against Bournemouth and he conceded 4. That just shows you the sort of quality he put in. Then Liverpool, then Bournemouth, wasn't it? Bournemouth, Liverpool, and then who did we go to after that? I've got it down here. Hold on.
Well, as soon as Adrian got his red, it was.
It was Leicester, wasn't it? Bournemouth, Liverpool, Newcastle at home. And he was just phenomenal. I thought he was phenomenal.
We let him forward in, kept 2 clean sheets.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It sort of got me to a point when I thought, I'm happy with you now. You know what I mean? With that sort of the European results and the performances he put in, I was thinking, oh God, we're getting it. I was thinking this at the beginning of the season, we're getting injury, a red card to Adrian, we're in trouble.
I think if Adrian gets injured or suspended now, you've got confidence in Randolph.
What about Ogbonna? Let's talk a bit about Ogbonna.
Not seen enough of him, to be honest.
Not a lot.
Very infrequent, if you like.
But he got taken off after half an hour, and I sort of thought, oh God, have we bought a W?
Yeah.
But from what he has played, I think he's looked pretty confident. I think he's looked pretty comfortable. Do you agree?
I mean, you have to be good to be bought by Juventus, to play in defence as well. It's not like he's some like amazing striker who nailed it in Serie B for like 1 season or whatever. You know, he came into a Juventus side who were competing in the Champions League. There has to be something there, and he's not played a huge amount of games, but some of the games he's played, he's looked very solid, and he has all the qualities to keep up with the Premier League game. You know, he's quick as well, and he's big. Like, there's no striker in the Premier League who will bully him. He's a big lad, and you know, you're going to make mistakes occasionally, and I think he's played a lot of them early in the season, which might be good. But I think he's good. I think when you look at the defence now, and you've got Reed and him, but back potentially in the future, and then you've got people like Tompkins and Collins just behind him, Reece Burke to come in after that, Reece Oxford if he does eventually drop back. You know, you've got a huge number of centre backs.
Hello, sniffing around Collins. Is that true, or
It's got to be in it. I don't think Collins is going to stay there for much longer.
I think, you see someone like Collins, Joey O'Brien, they'll go up there, wouldn't they? But
I don't think they'll go up there at the end of the season. I think we'd be silly to let them go.
I don't think Collins will go, to be honest.
We'll talk about the transfer window.
he's been a rock in a few of the games, hasn't he? Absolute rock.
When you look at Bonner, he's a Bilic type of defender. He's a ball-playing defender. He wants to bring the ball out from the back. You know, and I think that's what we need. With Tompkins, Reedy and Collins, they've not had that. Under Allardyce, it has just been pump it, get it, pump it. That's what we've got to
the thing is, though, with Bonner, he's got to work his arse off, because Tompkins at the moment, he's not moving him.
I think that's what he's been brought in for. Is that he's a solid centre back, but he's comfortable with the ball at his feet, with the ball out. And you know, as Bilic was, that's what he was.
Let's be honest. Over the last couple of seasons, he's been brought in because if you look at Reed's injury, then Collins' red card in the past couple of games, and then Bonner's injury at different points. Last year, 2 seasons ago, would have been fucked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Would have been playing Kayate, would have been back there. And
I remember that season when we had to put, who was it, George McCartney and Joey O'Brien centre back.
You know what I mean? It's just, you know, you need that sort of competition. I think the squad we're building there is absolutely fantastic. Obviously, we've got a couple more.
Got a lot more depth than I've seen for a while.
Songy came in, we ain't seen him yet, and that's a player that you keep on forgetting. Jenks come back. Was that the right move to bring him back? Has he been as good this year?
He started off shaky in the first couple of games, Bournemouth and Leicester, but I think since then he's been solid.
Once he saw James Tompkins was playing as well as he was, I think that probably motivated him. I think he came in the game too early. I think, was it Bournemouth he came back, was his first game? I can't remember what it was. And I think he shouldn't have been brought back. I think Tompkins should have kept that place. I say this in hindsight now, I think that, but at the time I didn't. But I think if you look at the squad depth, the one place that is shaky is the fullbacks, because natural fullbacks, we've only got Joe O'Brien, Cresswell and Jenkinson, no one else. You know, and a lot of people say Joe O'Brien should leave, but he's going to be vital if one of them get injured.
I think Ogbonna can play left back as well, though, can't he?
I think you got Tonks and Ogbonna,
and you got Endry as well.
Injury, but again, Endry was brought in before Bilic was brought in. So is he a player that hasn't been signed by Bilic, and that's why he's not been given a chance?
He's young as well, though.
Yeah,
he's got time.
The age thing, I don't think Slaven would be. You know, I don't think he'd be looking at him going, well, yeah, he's not my player. I'm not. You know, I'm not going to be interested.
He's going to be good enough for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he's got a use for him.
Developing, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's got his own plan of what he wants to do and what players he needs to do what job. And if he hasn't got a job for him, then he's going to be on the sideline, isn't he?
Obviously, we've got a couple more to go over signings wise. There's a French bloke, I can't remember his name. Obviously, Dimitri Payet.
He's been phenomenal.
Is this Is he the start of it? Do you understand what I'm saying by that? Is he the start of the new West Ham? Is he the marker? Is he right?
West Ham have always, they latch on to someone.
Yeah.
You know, a Bergovic, obviously Di Canio, and they haven't really had one. And I think he's the first one for a little while.
Probably since Di Canio.
Tevez. You know, when you look, we want someone, and he's the only one who's actually stepped forward and gone, blimey, actually, I'll pay to just come and watch him.
Yeah, so Ken, it's your... we had to cut there, sorry. It's your expertise here, the development squad. I've completely forgot what the fuck we were saying.
Talking about Samuelson.
Oh, Samuelson, yeah. So... I was going to make the point. It's all right, we're going to September. Go September. I'm going to brush through these a bit quickly because we're spending far too much time talking about West Ham when we should be at home, really. But
it's what we love doing.
Yeah, it is what we love doing, yeah. Newcastle win, brilliant win, 2-0.
First home win in the season.
And then we go to City. We'll talk a bit about this, to City. Did that prove that game there that we've got a bit of resilience behind us as well as quality? You know what I mean? Because that was a real backs to the wall job when it was snatch and grab more or less, 2-0 up.
Yeah, especially the second half.
Yeah.
I think it proved that we
can win games.
Yeah, we can play.
I think 2-0 up
when we have to.
Yeah,
we can hang it out.
2-0 up, conceding that goal just for half time. You'd have gone back a season 2. We'd have lost that 4-2,
4-2,
5-2, 5-2.
Easy.
You know, but
you put money on it.
Yeah,
I think the experience coming on the back of going to Arsenal, going to Liverpool. That cemented. I think there was belief in there. Even conceding that goal, there was belief to go, no, we're good enough to keep them out.
I think we deserve to actually concede that goal for us.
No.
Yeah.
I think it was a bit of a kick in the teeth, actually, at 2-0 up. But maybe that really, injustice, we did deserve that.
Showed we had a bit of grit, though, didn't it, as well? Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. I bet that was really satisfying to win there in the way we did.
I mean, we was up there, weren't we? And
it was most satisfying so far.
I'm going to say Palace.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to say Palace. That was the most satisfying because that is a game like we'd been to Arsenal, then we went to Liverpool, then we went to City, and I'm thinking we can't carry on like this. You know what I mean? And Palace were really up there doing well, and they're sort of competing around us. Maybe a game where they can sort of like start dropping their heads. But Palace, for me, I just thought we was brilliant that day. I think.
Well, they're up with us, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
2 points behind us.
What was yours?
Probably, I'd say Palace as well because again, it was a gritty performance like City and Arsenal, but it had everything, and then that pair goal at the end, and it was just like this release of just we can actually do it against other teams that aren't top 4 candidates.
I think for me, I've said it to you before, was the Arsenal win because it was opening day of the season and building up to that game. We've done a lot of work with Arsenal Fan TV, and their fans were just pelting us, saying 5-0, you know, and we went there and we turned them over, you know, and it was I couldn't wait to run around the Emirates and get to them and start, you know, in it.
I was fighting each other.
Yeah. Really? I was in the middle of them.
I've never known any fans who moan as much as Arsenal.
No.
I've never, ever.
I think
they might be doing really well and they'll still fight amongst themselves.
Yeah, there's always something to whinge about, isn't there? Yeah. Robbie was saying, we know the guy from Arsenal Fan TV. Robbie was texting me the other day, he said talking about Payet. I said it won't be the be all and end all of our season. I think we've got other players to step in. And he was like, well, you know, try having 10 first team players out. And I'm like, well, you know, he said try. I said it's just the way football goes.
Yeah, but the thing is with Arsenal, they're a bigger squad.
Yeah, of course.
Bigger team.
But not only that, last season we had 4 or 5 first team players out. The season before we do it, we get on, we carry on. Do you know what I mean? We don't sit there and bitch and moan because one player's got injured. You know, we just carry on. Other people have to step up to the plate.
What was your favourite away? Liverpool.
Just the way we outplayed Liverpool.
Mark?
I actually think Liverpool is most satisfying because I think Chelsea was expected. Believe it or not.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Most satisfying away at Liverpool, definitely.
Okay.
I don't think you can turn away from the Arsenal game.
Arsenal, yeah.
I think, after everything, and
it's
the build up of everything, and going there and just thought we played really well there.
Just set a marker out.
Set a marker out and went, there you go.
That's what we're about.
Whole thing.
And it wasn't a snatch and grab, was it? It was 90 minutes of us all over them.
And there was everything when you put Reece Oxford into the equation. Everything, the whole day, the whole way it was just exceptional.
You're making me want to go home and watch it again. I love it. You will.
The rest of September looked like this. Leicester in the cup. First round, it's not a surprise, is it? We go out first round most years, but no, we've had a good couple of runs in the last few years, but that's not too much of a disaster, is it? Carling Cup,
I think it was pleasing. He actually, he put out both teams, which was, you don't normally get that, and especially after the start of the season, it could easily have been, well, we're concentrating on the league and. But he played a strong side,
and it
was a decent game. And
you can't win.
If you go out, you go out. But at least you've had a go, and
exactly.
no one can ever look back.
I think that's the thing this season is the fact I don't mind losing, but you can see us actually playing and fighting.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Leicester. Sorry, I had a list
you
here.
Do yourself.
I think I've deleted it by accident.
Oh, no.
Leicester, then Norwich. Norwich was another game. At home again. Why are we struggling at home a little bit over these fans?
I think there's so much
pressure. I think the pressure of the last season
negativity from fans is incredible. It really is. And like Billy said about we come out at home. Play like a basketball game. He's got something there. I think we panic, and then we get ourselves in trouble. We play ourselves into trouble.
Do you not think most of the games we've lost or drawn, like poor games, that I won't say we was expected to win. I mean, this is the Premier League. You know what I mean? This is what a lot of our fans do forget. This is the Premier League. But do you think that it's just individual errors every time? It is, isn't it? If you think about the 2 goals against Norwich, obviously the 2 goals earlier on over the August, and then since then we didn't switch on against Sunderland. We didn't switch on against Palace. Was a penalty, wasn't it? I'll go through them. Chelsea.
3 of the 4 goals against Bournemouth were individual
errors. That's what I'm saying.
But individual errors, is that not better than a poor
team error?
performance?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I do think
at least the team's playing well, and then if we can cut down on the individual errors, then we'll win a lot more than we're going to lose.
I think what's forgotten as well is that the away performances against the top teams are, I'm not going to say they're easier to set up against, but you know what's expected.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But when you're playing at home against a team like Bournemouth who've just come up, you're expected to impose your style on them. And Bilic is still relatively new, and you can see like the Everton game. Like I was sitting relatively near you two, so you would know this, but like he stands up and he's constantly telling them what to do. And a lot of that is passion, but a lot of that as well is that he needs them to know exactly what he wants whenever he wants it. And so when you do come up against the Bournemouth team who will just do exactly what we did to City and someone like that, they know how to set up against them. We don't necessarily, everyone on the pitch doesn't necessarily know exactly how to set up against them.
The thing is, as well,
if he can change it from the side, that's impressive for me.
Yeah.
Rather than like knowing when the sub's going to be made. At least he's there and he can see the game, how it's flowing, and he can actually make that change, and he can talk to his players and say, this and do that, and he can change it like that. And for me, that's good.
I mean, what about if we'd flipped the results round and gone and got beat Arsenal, Man City, where you're not expected to get anything,
win the games
and actually win them games against Bournemouth?
Yeah.
Would everyone be sitting here going, we're so expected? It's good. It will be that. It'll be same. I wouldn't expect to get there.
It's a precious season this year because it's the last at the Boleyn. I feel a bit sorry for Bilic coming in this season because everyone's expecting us to win at home, and and like you said, I mean, we sat there on post-match pint and we said if you looked at them first 10 results and you said to West Ham, they're your results, every West Ham fan would have took them results, I think, because of them away wins.
Yeah.
I know we don't like losing at home, but going to Arsenal, Liverpool, City,
you can feel the difference at home this year a little bit though. It's changing each week or each game. It's changing a little bit. I think the fans are getting a little bit more belief, and they're a little bit less impatient, if you like. You know, they can.
I think the Chelsea game.
Yeah, I was just about to say that the Chelsea game was.
Helped that,
I mean,
definitely.
we'll move on to that, but that for me that was unbelievable.
Sunderland 2-2. Is that a good result? I think that's a decent result, to be honest. We should have beat them in the end, but when you think about their fight for their life, it was his last game,
and I think
the players knew he was going. You know what I mean?
Any away game, you're 2-0 down and you come back.
Especially in Sunderland, we don't travel well. Ken, you've played with us.
No, we don't.
We go north of Birmingham. We was pretty much fucked, in the 90s and early 2000s. You know what I mean? Like, so 2-2 draw at Sunderland. I think that's a decent result. My favourite result, the 3-1 Palace. Then we've got the Chelsea game. And I think that's the one that's sort of like, I wouldn't say got everyone's hopes up, but you want to beat them, don't you? You know what I mean? We kicked them while they was down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We kicked them while they was down, and I think that's a very, very, very.
That was our first London derby at home, wasn't it?
I don't know about satisfying. It was good, but satisfying to kick them when they were already down for me was a bit. I think I expected it in one way.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And I think results since then from Chelsea has proved that they're not at a right place. They're not.
We done them when they were down. I think if we'd have done them when they were flying, I would have got a lot more satisfaction out of it. Don't get me wrong, I was very
just like it because
satisfied.
they're down.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
And the thing is, says, enjoy it. I am.
Yeah, the thing is as well, Andy Carroll getting the winner. That roar of that crowd when he got that goal was. I haven't heard the bowling like that for a long time. A long time. Probably when we played Man City at home last year.
But you look at that winner. I mean, the 2 games before that, he had a direct hand in 2 goals. And then, the Chelsea game was brilliant. Watford, I think, hand on heart, I honestly think that is the only bad performance I can say, a team performance this year is the Watford game. I just thought that was better than that's all over the park.
Why and how?
I don't know. I couldn't put my finger on it. I really couldn't put my finger on it. They just looked more hungry.
Yeah. Again, it was individual errors that led to the goal.
Yeah, again.
Andy Carroll got absolutely slayed. And that was wrong. We won the game the week before, and then the very next kick of the ball, basically.
Someone come out, I don't know what was on the Twitter or Facebook, someone said, I noticed a similarity when Carroll was back last season, things started going wrong, and now it's happening this season.
But what about the 3 things that went right before?
That's what I mean. It's a bit unfair because I said he played a part in the goal at Palace. Scored the winner against Chelsea. You can't say things are going wrong.
The thing is with Andy Carroll, he's not a lone striker, is he? He can't play out there on his own.
He can't have the ball to flip.
No.
But it's not that. For me, we noticed it against Everton. I think you noticed it against Watford. You've got Carroll set up here on his own, and we're all back here.
Yeah,
and
we're
you can't have
away
that depth. You can't have that gap between the forward and the midfield. You've got to work as a unit, and you've got to come forward as a unit. And there was times we saw it, didn't we, sitting there, he's tracking down the defender, and the defender just taps when he turns round, and there's no one within 20 yards of him.
For me, he'd be better off in midfield, and that's no lie. I'm telling you, he'd be better off in midfield and just being.
I think he's a good plan B. But it's an expensive plan B, and I don't know whether we can afford.
I think it's the greatest super sub we've ever had. Like, you imagine, we saw it again against Chelsea. Sacco runs him tired for 70 minutes, and then on comes Andy Carroll. The defenders are probably thinking,
the bloke you want to see coming off the bench. Is it? After you've been running around for 7 minutes.
Would he be happy with that?
I think what Mark said, I'd like to see him up there with a partner.
Sacco.
Working as a pair. I think I haven't seen that.
We've never seen that.
No.
Since we've had Carroll, we've never seen him. We had Sacco and Valencia together at the top. Then one of them got injured. Then the other one got injured. And then Carroll come back. Yeah. We've never had Carroll and someone.
It's amusing, isn't it, when you think about him? He's in my mind, one of the best headers of the ball in the world. Not just in the country, in the world. He frightens them to death. So if everyone's so worried about him, imagine having someone like Valencia or Sacco playing off of him, who have got the quality, the ability to score the goals.
To be fair, though,
why are we not?
We've not really had that chance to do that yet. No?
Not yet. No,
Yeah.
we've never had everyone fit, have we?
Even when he was fit with Sam, he just stuck him up front on his own. He would never put him with anyone. He'd never played two up top.
I think it's all right having the best header, but unless he's heading it in the in the 18-yard box, so you're getting wide players crossing balls. Unfortunately, the play was back to front so quickly, and he was just fighting balls and heading balls, and he's not going to hurt anyone there. And then when you see the goal against Chelsea, that's exactly where he wants to be, and I'm sure that's where he wants to be.
Spot.
He wants to be penalty spot, attacking balls, scoring goals.
And 9 times out of 10, he's going to win that ball.
Of course he will.
All the time.
When you slow that goal down on the replay, you see him drift. He moved the way. He's seen Terry step forward. He's moved back. He's thinking, "I'm going to beat him."
I remember a goal at Tottenham a couple of years ago when the ball come over. I think it might have been one of his first goals for us. The ball come over, and the way he headed the ball was fucking phenomenal. And he's gone back like that, and it's sort of like he got it come off this bit and and that for me is just, it shows the qualities that he has got. He's got qualities in the air. Are we playing in the air now? That's the problem. Are we? Should it be getting them down to the wings and get them in frame?
What then you're taking away Payet when he gets in them holes. Suddenly it's very centralised.
I don't necessarily think it's one or the other. You have people like Payet and Lanzini who will naturally drift centrally because that's where they like to be, in that whole sort of creating space, running about, doing whatever, right? And then you have Jenkins and Cresswell who on their day can be incredible crosses of the ball. They haven't quite nailed the levels they did last season, this season yet, but they are capable. And you have those fullbacks going around the side and then the people drifting into the centre. We could look incredibly dangerous. The biggest problem is, like you said, it's just that space between Carroll and the rest of the team is so big. It's so big. And against Everton, it was quite clear. I said to Ryan during the fan camp, we were clearly just sitting back and waiting for them to make a mistake because their centre backs love wandering all over the shop. But against Watford, they just weren't going to give us that mistake because they just wanted it more, like I said. And we need to find that fine line. If we are going to play him up front by himself, we might have to. Because
is it just tweaking it though? Is it just sort of like finding the niche sort of thing? You know what I mean?
He's going to be invaluable throughout the season. He'll be invaluable. There's going to be games where he's going to come on and he'll start, and he will.
I know he got a lot of criticism at Watford, but I think he'll win us more games than he'll lose us games. Andy Carroll,
of course.
He'll save us a few as well.
Defensively,
defensively,
The thing is, when you look at Swansea last season, the Swansea last season, terrorised them at home, got us a point. Scored that cracker at their ground, got us a point. The season before, when he came back, it was his knockdowns for Roman, put the point back in. There's teams like that, like with Lukaku against us. Like we said with him, he probably looks forward to playing West Ham because he thinks, I can get a couple.
This is what we're saying.
It's going to be the same.
He's getting the criticism for people not getting near him. Do you know what I mean? There should be people around him like Lanzini, Payet, and there isn't.
You've got to bear in mind as well, he's been out for a long time.
Long while.
He needs injury-free now. He needs to be a stint. He'll be confident. People will be good.
He's not going to get injured for one.
I mean, he's nowhere near. Won't be up to speed.
I see an interview of him the other day, and his training is totally different now. He only trains 2 days a week with the team, and then he's off his feet for the rest, like on bikes and things like that. So Bilic, he's not rushed him back. He's taking his time with him. Good.
I wish I waggled that one. That ain't a bad weekly schedule.
1 day training, 4 in the pub.
That's all right.
2 days a week.
But I think
part-time.
crosses in the box and things like that. I think with Payet and Lanzini, we said that he's defensively Payet, that's not in his nature. And then that then restricts, especially against Everton, Payet's playing on the left. That restricts Cresswell getting forward because he can't afford to get caught out. And with Moses tracks back. When Lanzini's been out there, he doesn't track back as much as Moses would. And I think Jenkinson and Cresswell are aware of that. And we saw with Cresswell, he's moaning at Payet that he's getting doubled up. And I think that's affected with Carroll on the side. We want to put the balls in the box. But if we can't get all the forward, they're not going to put the ball in. Because like you said, with Payet, Zarate when he comes on, they want to cut the side. Listen,
we'd all love, fullbacks flying on and Pyatt in the hole and playing up and Cow up, but you can't have it always.
Yeah, that's right.
And you know, you do have to suddenly go, well, if we're going to do this, maybe this, you know, you have got to sacrifice maybe the fullbacks being as adventurous. But
I'd much rather Pyatt.
That's what
than Cresswell, you know what I mean? Like, so, no?
Tweet it one anytime goal, no. Twice.
Yeah, have you?
Yes, mate. Thank you very much.
Last game, before we move on to a couple of other things, Everton. In hindsight, I mean, that's when the injuries come to the star man.
I can't believe how they played, to be honest with you. I mean, I thought they played like Wimbledon. They were dirty. I didn't expect that from that.
I think they went out. I think they knew where we could hurt them, and I think they went out and they knew what they was doing.
Scissor kicks.
Yeah, I think
agree.
Yeah. Where I was sitting, you could see as soon as Dimitri Payet got that ball, there was 2 players on him all the time, and they were trying to kick him. Same as Lanzini as well. As soon as he got that ball, they was trying to kick him.
Would he have told him, Ken Martinez? Would he have said to him, right, as soon as he gets it, make sure he knows you're there at least?
Listen, every team will go through, you know, the opposition and their strengths, their weaknesses. And you know, anyone that's watched West Ham this season, you know, you can go, you know, he's your man when he makes them tick. So what you're saying, when he lands on the ball, make sure that we got people around him. You know, he's not going to go. I can't imagine Martinez go through and kick him. But I would say make sure that he knows you're about, and don't give him that time on the ball. You're gonna
get in there first.
You're gonna get that.
Make sure he knows you're there. That's what we want to put up as a defender.
The thing is, they done it. Moses did. The left back clattered him. McCarthy clattered him. And then they done it Pyatt, they done it Lanzini. So it wasn't, like you said, it's just that, make sure they know you're there. So it's just putting that in their back of their mind that when they take that extra touch on the ball closer or that, they're thinking, hang on a minute, I'm going to get hurt.
And might get hurt this time.
And in the end, it was...
You know that old thing, when you think you're going to get hurt, you do.
Yeah.
I think when you have up against that, you need strong officials to even nail it down early on. And
he was poor.
The referee was poor.
I didn't get this. I've seen the goals and the highlights, but I heard, he wasn't.
He's a rookie.
I don't think I've seen one good referee this season, though.
I like the one at home against Chelsea. I thought he was great.
Well, you know, he was alright. I'm talking good though.
I don't think they exist anymore, but I'm not going to sit here and criticise. It's a difficult job. You know what I mean?
You can't please everyone.
People say, you know, get ex-pros in to do it. What ex-pro these days is going to go there for 800 quid a week or £1,000 a week, whatever they get, when they've got millions and millions and millions?
I'll get it for £1,000 a week.
I know what you're saying, but you're talking about, like, they say, get people that's played the game, and
get people who know the game.
Yeah,
you've got to play the game, you've just got to know the game.
No, well,
the thing for me, they're human beings. They're going to make mistakes.
They make mistakes, and
We do make mistakes, right? We do. But when something happens in front of you and 38,000 people see it, but you don't, something's wrong.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying there, but it's there.
How can they not see that? No, but it's not. When it's there, when it's black and white, and they still call it wrong. That has got to stop.
It's something that's going to continue to happen though, because we saw it against Chelsea. You know, Matic was just sent out to take players out of the game, and I'm not saying they were sent out to injure them, but like, we're so good going forward. We're so free flowing and so quick that a lot of teams' best defence against us is just going to pull us back, and that's what Matic did. That's what Everton did several times. Yeah, and we're going to keep on seeing it, and that's when the criticism of the refs do happen, because it's not just making mistakes, it's also like a consistency thing. They have to be consistent in the way they make decisions, and they're not at the moment.
I don't think football's consistent. You look at a fine that we've just had. We've just been slapped with a £40,000 fine in that game in the Chelsea game for failing to control our players. We had 3 people asking the ref what was going on. They've had a man sent off, 2 booked, 5 round the referee, an assistant coach sent off, a manager burst into and they got a £50,000 fine.
We got 1 book in that game.
Yeah. Like that's the level of consistency. That's
the FA for you.
Yeah,
but that's the FA.
That's what I'm saying. That's the level of consistency we ain't getting in football. I don't think just referees, but I just mean What is it? They must put that money in a pool for the Christmas party or something. It's getting a bit close, you know. What, 40 grand, 50 grand, you know what I mean? It must be. It's the only explanation. I can't. And when you get, like we've had it a couple of times this year, we had another fine failing to control our players when Noble got sent off at Liverpool wrongly.
Yeah.
They said it was the wrong decision.
They rescinded it.
They rescinded the red card.
I think they felt embarrassed for the red card that they had to get us some way. Just give us a fine.
It leaves me scratching my head. And we still got fines, yeah. We still got fines.
Was it the same last year when who was it who put
Southampton, mate.
He went up with a high foot.
Oh, I remember. Yeah. I remember exactly.
When it controlled the ball and it didn't see the player and got sent off, and then people got round him going exactly the same.
Yeah.
And then we got fined. I think we got fined for that as well. And you're thinking, really?
Yeah.
You know.
So when you look at West Ham, we don't do that.
Not now, no.
No one wants to see it anyway. You don't want to see.
United and Chelsea.
Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal. Every week they're doing it. They're not getting done. We do it 2 or 3 times. We get it done each time. It's just, I went into the thingy of the FA Saturday. Get done.
Quite severs. Yeah, so injury to Payet. Valencia came back. He got injured as well. If you've been reading Twitter over the last few days, you'd think the club was folding.
Yeah.
The way that people are going.
Meltdown.
I'm going to say it right now, whether you agree with me or not. We can cope without him.
Yeah, of course we
can.
We've coped for 119 years without him anyway. You know what I mean? Like, he's not the be all and end all. You know, you get them seasons. Don't get me wrong. If you go back to sort of your era, Ken, right? I heard you on a podcast yesterday, Knees Up Mother Brand podcast, saying that Dixie was your best player. 9 times out of 10, he was your best player. Yeah. Lose a player like him for a season in sort of like a team that is not performing. It's different, isn't it? You know. Yeah, we can cope without them. I think it could be the making of people. I think it's not the be all and end all. Out for 3 months is it's a terrible shame, but. You know, there's positives there. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, team now. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
You got Alex Song to come back.
And the thing is, it's a chance for someone who's been sitting on the fringes now. It's like that. This is a chance to get on the end. It's going to, the players that they get in the side, it's going to understand they know there's a space there to take
into a good team.
Yeah.
Whereas last season, didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. But for me, you know, like, we lost them, and it's a massive loss. But
their fans are notorious.
you know, possibly they're Lensing's got a bit of very massive. You know, and he's a player that's going to change the game.
The thing is, as well, I mean, all right, I'm not doing Biddis's job, but if you put Song alongside Noble and Quixote, Moses, Lanzini and Sacco, you've still got a good, you know what I mean? That's better than what we've had the last few years. You know?
Just a little bit.
It is though, isn't it? You know,
on his day,
you're not going back 2 years ago where we're relying on someone like Colton Cole.
Proves how far we've come.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got a squad because we've been sitting to pay a lot of different formations in the field with different people. You pay wide open and we can change the we can pay it. We've got different ways. It just depends.
You can play Carroll and Sacco with Lanzini behind you. That's another option.
I think we've now got a manager who is able to play all of those formations and different ideas, whereas before we only had a plan A. We've got a bit more than that now, and I think that's what I'm excited about, is the fact that we can actually see it. You know, you can see the options that we've got. Yes, we've lost Payet, and it's a bit of a kick in the nuts, but I don't see it being a problem. I really don't. I think we can cope with that and move forward with it. Yeah.
So calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Calm the fuck down.
Just chill. Yeah. Let's skip through these last bits quickly. We'll start finishing up now. We'll skip through them. Favourite goal, Mark, so far?
Oh man, I think it's got to be Jenkinson because he won me a lot of money.
Charlie? Playing against Palace, Ken? What you've seen?
For what I've seen, I'd have to say Payet against Palace.
Palace, yeah?
Oh, it was quality.
Lanzini.
Everton, yeah, I'm going to say the same.
Yeah, Lanzini and Payet as well against Newcastle. I think was a good goal as well.
Goal, yeah. Who's been your man of this? I'm going to start with you because I know you've got different.
I've got a few of them. You know what I mean? I don't think any one of them.
Man of the moment.
I don't know. Lanzini. Because for me, he doesn't stop. He for me, everyone should be about. You know, he wants that ball.
Yeah.
And that for me says it all about him, man. He's a workhorse.
Kim? Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be Payet.
Yeah, it goes across there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. Now I agree with Mark Lanzini for me.
Yeah, you do say Lanzini. Yeah. I'm going to say Payet. He's Arsenal fan.
Lanzini and Payet will take it on. He's really bad.
Really bad.
We created actually even when we got back on we were waiting for it. Still like an after we were 16 minutes, still no chance. We played in the next.
He's right up there with Reed now, in my opinion.
Competing, definitely, yeah.
Like that strength, that. Yeah, sorry.
Charlie?
Like you say, Tompkins has been so good. He hasn't made any mistakes, but it's difficult for me to pass Payet. He's just so good.
He is good.
So good.
Just watching you, just
Love the Payet.
good.
Yeah, he is good.
Right, shall we leave it there, boys? Thank you so much for coming in. We want you all in again, maybe towards the end of the season. Would that be-
Yeah, pleasure, no problem.
Back here again? We'll see if we can
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Mark's at the Ribman on Twitter. Kenny, you on Twitter?
Yes.
You are, yeah. What's your tag?
And Kenny.
Kenny J Brown 6'7", I believe.
Brown 6'7". Ryan RG, you know him. Scotty, Charlie, Kingdom of Wham.
Kingdom of Wham and at Hammers_chat.
Thank you so much to the Boleyn Pub for letting us come in and film here tonight. We want to mention something that they haven't asked us to mention this, but I'm going to mention it anyway because I think this is a cracking deal. They are running for the move. They're running a service. You can pay £120 a year. It's a membership. You get a return coach, right? Listen to this, an half-price drink on match days. Think that's worth it?
Kenny's already signed up.
He's showing me. I know all this. Yeah, I'm in there.
So if you're anyone interested, please phone the Boleyn Pub and get on this. Let's keep the spirit of bowling alive because as much as I'm looking forward to the move, it is important that we know where we came from. And this pub, I wouldn't want anything to happen in this pub. This is a very, very important place. Thanks very much for joining us on this edition of, what should we call it, the season so far, with Hammers Chat, Kenny Brown, Ribman, us West Ham Fan TV. You can follow us on Twitter at West Ham Fan TV, facebook.com/West Ham Fan TV, on our website www.westhamfan.tv, at Instagram West Ham Fan TV.
I can't remember it.
I love it. It's my favourite part.
Yeah, so make sure you come back in. One thing left to say? Come on, your eyes.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's Post-Match Pint, the only West Ham United post-match fallout show on the internet. West Ham 1, Tottenham 4.